Welcome to the Fantasy NASCAR Podcast, Talladega 2 2024. You know what it is. If you want to get access to the Fantasy NASCAR Spreadsheet, racesplitprize.com, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, send it my way. $50 for the rest of the season. I'll share all the data with you. You know the strategy. Nothing has changed since the previous podcast or every single super speedway podcast ever. Stack in the back, stack in the back, stack in the back. And then, as always, try to build the winning lineup, not the optimal lineup. Try to build the winning lineup, not the optimal lineup. You want to go opto, then you're going to chase the guy up front. Now, most of these drivers, as you can see, do project to have a possibility of getting over that 53-point cut line and being an optimal pick, scoring a top 6 DFS score. Is it likely? No. But again, is it likely that all these guys in the back finish? No. But if cashing is a priority for you, then you want to stack in the back. Right? Let's say you pick 6 drivers and 5 of them make it through, but one of them starts up front. You just lost a lot of points when that guy wrecks. Now, if you built the other way with 6 guys in the back, 5 of them make it through, 1 fails, this other guy doesn't kill you. That's your cashing strategy. Now, if you're purely focused on, I want to be the best, I don't care, all my lineups die except for one, then yeah, you can play a guy up front, but I don't think that strategy is necessary in a smaller Talladega DFS contest. It's not a big contest this week. 25,000. Everybody's playing NFL. You don't need to be cute. You don't have to chase the guys up front. While all the drivers in the top 10 have the possibility of getting over that 53-point cut line, scoring a top 10 DFS score, giving you contrarian ownership. I don't care about ownership. You got one thing to do. Don't worry about ownership. You got one thing to do, and that's not worrying about ownership. It's about picking 6 drivers that finish. If 6 drivers finish the race for you, you'll be happy at the end of the day. You're not going to be beating yourself up over ownership. If you can pick 6 survivors, you'll survive and you'll win money. Don't worry about ownership and getting cute. Just get 6 guys that finish. So let's just look at the back. All of them are in play. You can make a legitimate argument that any of these drivers can get a top 10, and that's all you need. I mean, you can have a conversation about Cody Ware and BJ McLeod and not wanting to go there because they probably don't quite have the upside as some of these other drivers. And even if BJ McLeod ends up being one of those guys that survives a wreck-filled race, or Cody Ware, there's still the high likelihood that another one of these drivers finishes up there as well. And so maybe you didn't build the optimal lineup, but you built a winning lineup and you went into the race with a higher probability. And just let's be clear. Stenhouse, Suarez, Alfredo even have a better likelihood of getting into the top 10 over Cody Ware. Run this race 1,000 times. Who do you think gets more top 10s? Same thing with BJ McLeod. He can do it. But while he's not quite going for opto, like starting guys up front, I wouldn't be afraid to put him in that category. If we're looking on a spectrum of stacking the back versus stacking the back winning lineup strategy versus the other side of the spectrum, contrarian, be different, play guys up front and try to go optimal. If we're looking at that spectrum, obviously Smith, Hocevar, Briscoe, Haley, Alfredo, Stenhouse, they're on the stack in the back winning side. And obviously the opto chase somebody up front to be cute would be any of these drivers in the top 10. Somewhere in the middle, and maybe even more, I would lean towards the opto chasing and too cute, is Cody Ware and BJ McLeod. Cody Ware, yes, did finish 4th at Daytona. BJ McLeod probably has enough to run with the pack if they're running at 70%. We saw him lead laps at Talladega in the spring before he hit the wall. You can go there. I just don't think you need to. That's more of chasing the opto. I'll take, 6 drivers that survive and get a top 10 DFS score, which everyone in the back is capable of doing. And so this just simply comes down to a matter of which guy do you want to start in the back? And really, that's more of where do you want to draw your line? Anywhere, to be quite honest. 18 seems fine to me. But you can push it back as further as 25 or even deeper, depending on how many lineups you want to build, how many bases you want to cover. And we can just look at the spring race at Talladega, for example, to see where the cut line was. And it was 18. So if you drew your line at 18 and built your pool around that, you're fine. But even if you didn't do 18, you did 19, you're probably fine. I mean, to be quite honest, even if you did 22 and you missed out on Reddick, and Hemrick, you still had Briscoe and Hocevar right here. So draw your line wherever you want in terms of building like mass entries. But again, really anyone 18 or back seems fine to me. Because you got to rationalize this. If half the field wrecks and 20 cars are left, well, if you draw an 18 and back, you got 20 cars to pick from. So 6 of these guys back here are going to make it. Now, again, if you draw your line at further back, tightens it a little bit. That's basically it, guys. You know the deal. Stack in the back, build the winning lineup. Plenty of options in the back of the field. I think Ware and McLeod are probably too cute. You put Yaley in that category as well. Definitely in that category as well. So, although, again, if they're running at 70%, the FDNY car can handle it, finish the race at Atlanta. So, there is that option, but I just don't, again, think you need to go there. If he is optimal, there will be a pivot. Thanks for joining me. RaceSurprise.com.